I, a 28-year-old woman, had given my heart to my 34-year-old boyfriend on a silver platter, but he broke it into pieces. I had asked him to marry me, but he insisted that I undergo rehabilitation first because he didn't want to marry a mentally unstable person. It hurt to hear the person I loved insinuate that I was crazy, but it made me realize he would never reciprocate the love I had for him. I couldn't leave, though, because I was broke, had nowhere to go, and had just had a baby with him. When I fully recovered, I resumed waiting tables at a small coffee shop where I earned measly wages. They allowed me to bring my baby to work. It was there that I met Mark, a 32-year-old man, tall, unbelievably handsome and rich. He had just relocated to the city and was getting acquainted with the environment. He told me he admired me and wanted to get to know me better. I gave him my phone number before returning to work. For Mark, it was love at first sight. But for me, it was my ticket out of hellhole I shared with my boyfriend. Despite knowing I was a single mother, Mark remained head over heels in love with me. He lavished me with gifts and never hesitated to provide whatever I demanded. He began to finance me and my baby. So I stopped working, but every morning I would leave the house and only return the evening to keep up the charade of working so my boyfriend wouldn't get suspicious. I never brought my new flashy dresses, jewelry, or accessories home. Instead, I kept them at Mark's place. Meanwhile, my boyfriend continued to pester me about going into rehab, claiming it was for our betterment and that he wanted us to officially become a family. He said he couldn't do that if I remained the way I was. But I was fine. Yes, I took tiny bits of hard drugs now and then, but that was all they were, tiny bits that never caused any harm. Besides, marriage was for better or worse. So if he couldn't accept me the way I was, I had no business tying the knot with him. I continued my secret affair with Mark, and it was so fun to watch him think he was truly my boyfriend. Thanks to the luxury he provided me with, I was able to attract another man, a 35-year-old, who believed my tale of being a lonely single mother. Stringing along 3 men was quite difficult, but it got easier with time. My boyfriend never took me out, so I never had to turn him down with a lie. I found ways to handle Mark's obscene date plans while maintaining my secret life. I had foregone my plans to leave and instead chose to stay and enjoy the love my men were showering on me. One evening, I decided to spend time with my third man. We were having dinner at a low-key restaurant when Mark walked in. The restaurant was small, so he spotted me immediately. He looked from my date to me, and then away. I was scared to my bones and began to concoct a reasonable lie. I knew I would lose my date no matter what I said, but he was a lesser loss compared to Mark. Mark walked over and ordered me to get up. My third guy immediately intervened despite my silent pleas for him to stay out of it. He asked Mark who he was and why he was talking to me like that. Mark coldly introduced himself as my boyfriend. A loud argument broke out between the 2 men as they both claimed to be with me. I was so ashamed that I had to sneak out while they weren't looking. That night, the other guy blew up my phone with messages, calling me all sorts of names and threatening me, but I knew he couldn't do anything. The next day, I went to Mark's place. He refused to talk to me, so I went on my knees, crying and begging him to forgive me. My baby got upset and started crying too, and since Mark was fond of my baby, he broke his silent treatment. He forgave me and agreed to let it go. I was really happy, so I gave him a treat by spending the night with him. The next morning, I woke up to the sound of Mark saying, "Surprise, surprise." I was shocked to find my boyfriend carrying my baby, while Mark gave me a sinister smile. I didn't know when I started crying. How could he betray me like that? I called him a simp and a loser for going back on his word. All this time, my boyfriend kept all his attention on my baby. I didn't understand what was going on, but Mark took it upon himself to explain. He said that his friends who witnessed the ordeal at the restaurant ran a quick check on me and discovered I was dating my baby's father, who was not a deadbeat dad, contrary to what I had told him. Everything happened like a dream. 1 minute, my boyfriend was telling me he loved me and wished I would get better. It sounded like a farewell speech, and I was just about to ask if that's what it was when uniformed men walked in. I knew who they were and why they were there. My boyfriend had finally reported me to the authorities for drug addiction, and they had come to take me to a rehabilitation center. I refused to believe it. I was okay. I didn't need any crazy help or whatever they were offering. I tried to get my boyfriend to see it that way, but he just told me to kiss my baby goodbye because it might be a while before I saw him again. That was 6 months ago. I was released from rehab a week ago. The first thing I did was go to Mark's place, but he turned me down, saying he had a new woman in his life and that I should just disappear. It was really hurtful and demeaning. I reminded him how he had promised to build a future with me, but he retorted that that was before he knew I had a baby daddy and shut the door in my face. Next, I went to find my boyfriend to see my child, but he didn't want to let me see my child without a proper custody order. He said we were done for good. I was shocked because I hadn't expected that much animosity from him. I asked him what was stopping him from marrying me now that I had completed rehab, but he just laughed and called me delusional. I feel so lost right now. I don't know what to do. Can someone tell me how to get my life in order again? I only need my child and my boyfriend in my life. I want us to be a real family again. I don't even know why I did this. I love my husband. He is a wonderful man, attentive, caring, and a good provider. But I posted an ad online for a hookup and got a huge number of responses. I found someone I was physically attracted to. He came to my house, we had sex, and then he left. I don't even know if he told me his real name. He used a condom that I provided, so I would know it wasn't tampered with. I know I messed up. The thing is, I don't feel anything about it. It's like it didn't even happen. Like I was looking in as a third party. Even though it was me lying there, I did something that could screw up my whole life for an hour of pleasure. It wasn't even that pleasurable. It was stupid, immoral, and wrong. I know I should hate myself, but I don't. I guess when it comes back to bite me, I might hate myself then. Actually, writing this has made me feel like the piece of trash I am. I don't deserve my husband. I don't plan to tell him. It would devastate him. And the only thing to gain by telling him is relief of my guilty conscience. And I don't deserve that. I deserve to live with the guilt. I know I have problems. I always have. I never thought I'd do something this stupid, though. It was like a snowball rolling down a hill, getting bigger and bigger. I had so many chances to stop, but I didn't. I need help.